Alright, what's up everybody? I'm back again today doing another video. This time I wanted to talk about a aspect of DC Comics that I feel gets quite ignored often. And yes, I do understand the irony of me doing a video about DC while wearing a Marvel shirt, but it is what it is. DC several years back started to release a series of graphic novels called the Earth One graphic novels. And what these were, they were stories about characters and teams that everyone knew and loved. They'd been around for a while. You got your Superman, your Batman, your Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, all these different teams, Teen Titans, but it gave them a brand new modernized twist. And each one of these stories takes place outside the main continuity of all the other DC comics. In fact, nothing else in DC touches these. These are their own standalone thing. I have a good chunk of them here. They all look like this. The Supermans are red, Batmans are blue, Green Lantern's obviously green, purple is Teen Titans. There are also volumes for Earth or Wonder Woman out. As you can see, they all say Earth 1. Teen Titans, Green Lantern. I've actually talked about Green Lantern Earth 1 in a video I did with Zach, one of our podcast episodes. You got Batman Earth 1 volumes 1 and 2. And then you got Superman Earth 1 volumes 1, 2, and 3. And they're all fantastic. These do take a new approach on a lot of these characters. They all start out in very familiar ways, except I'm going to say Green Lantern. But very quickly things become different. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's not necessarily a good thing. One of the recurring themes that I'm finding in these is they're taking a villain. They're taking one of the hero's main villains and they're changing them from a male to a female. For instance, in the Superman stories, in Volume 3, they introduce Lex Luthor and his wife, Alexis Luthor. And at the end of the story, spoiler alert, Lex Luthor, Alexander Luthor, he dies. And then his wife, Alexis Luthor, or Alexandra Luthor, ends up blaming Superman for his death, and she then becomes the Lex Luthor in this version of Superman that is his mortal enemy. Similarly, in the Batman stories, Harvey Dent, who we all know to be Two-Face, has a sister named Jessica. In Volume 2, Harvey gets acid thrown in his face, and he gets burned, but it kills him. And his sister Jessica, she, in her grief, when she's holding his mangled, dying body, she presses her face against his burning face, and she scars half of her face with the burning acid that's on his. She becomes scarred, and then it damages her mind and fractures it into two personalities. One of them is Jessica, and the other one is Harvey Dent, her brother. So now she's the Two-Face. So that's a recurring theme I've noticed in these. Green Lantern is honestly a highlight in this series. It's a very different take on the Green Lantern story. It is Hal Jordan, but this is not Hal Jordan how you know him. So I guess central theme here is if you've been following DC for a while and it's gotten to the point where you're kind of having a lot of problems with it, this is a nice alternative. Also, if you've never touched DC before and getting into it, seems to look really intimidating. There's so much going on in it already. You're so far behind. I think there's 2, maybe 3 volumes of Wonder Woman out. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're looking at 9 graphic novels that usually I pick one of these up, I can finish them in one sitting. Maybe an hour. You're looking at an hour read. They're kind of like a little mini movie in book format. Which is nice, and it's a pretty decent publishing strategy. I hope this is a line of books that doesn't go anywhere. I hope DC keeps putting more of these out And as of right now, the characters in each of their respective stories, they have yet to meet each other. Like they're all supposed to be taking place on Earth 1. That's why it's the Earth 1 series. But Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, they have yet to meet within this Earth 1 universe. Teen Titans have never met any of them. And also, none of their books acknowledge any of the others' presence. Like, there's never a mention of an Amazonian warrior lady in any of the other books. They don't mention it in Superman, they don't mention it in Batman. In Batman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern, there's no mention of an alien who can fly and shoot heat rays out of his eyes. There's nothing. There's no acknowledgement of each other. And this is DC being very hesitant to combine them. Because right now, with them being not only separated from the main continuity of DC, they're also separated from each other. It gives them a lot of freedom to do what they want with the stories and with the characters. But the minute they start knitting it all together, then there's going to be some rules, and they're going to have to think a little bit harder when they plan this shit out going forward. But I honestly hope we do. I hope we do get a Justice League Earth 1. I would love to see this line go much, much farther. It's also a much easier line to collect and like keep up to date with. When this was in its heyday, it's kind of slowed down since it started. But when this line was in its heyday, they were, I think, coming out with 2 volumes a year. And then I'm not talking like, oh, we were getting Superman 2 volumes of Superman in a year. No, it would be like we got a Superman and a Batman. You know, like one in spring, one in fall. Or we got a Batman and a Wonder Woman, or a Teen Titans and a Wonder Woman. That kind of thing. Which is fine. It's very similar to how Marvel released their cinematic movies. We usually got 2 a year. And it wasn't always an Avengers movie. Sometimes it was like Doctor Strange and something else, you know? It's kind of like that. So it's a good series to get into, especially if DC is either like pissing you off or you're new and getting into the mainstream DC is look kind of daunting. I highly recommend those books. Honestly, I can't recommend them enough. They're very, very good. So let me know what you guys think. Anyone else who's read these books, leave a comment below. Let some other people know your thoughts and opinions about them. Check out some of my other videos if you like, and maybe subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I will see you guys next time.